Hello and welcome to X, the second season, and we are going strong with the upper bracket matches. Everything seems to be prepared quite in order. Been doing some of the background work to prepare everyone to be right on time, so hopefully we're gonna manage. Let's see if I can manage to get my other casters in here. What's up, man?
Hey.
Yo. How are you doing?
Good. I just got back from being out in the world.
You still working or just went shopping or something?
Just quick shopping and I had to drop off something at my parents'.
All right, cool. Did you, by any chance, manage to have a look at the deck lists for this game?
I just looked at the mono red from Pavtan, so I'm looking over them right now.
Yeah, so basically what we've got here is RazDva submitting 2 times mono green. He's also submitted mono blue, mono red, and a black red deck. And from Pavtan's side, he's submitted mono red twice, mono black, red green ramp, and mono blue. Interestingly, both players choosing to ban each other's mono blue deck out. Surprising to me, actually, because none of them is going very strong. None of them is really known for playing mono blue, so I'm kind of surprised that they choose to ban each other's mono blue decks. But do you have any thoughts on why they've chosen to do that?
Probably because all the rest of their lists aren't that great against mono blue, except for the mono black. So it's kind of weird, I guess, from Pavtan's side why he would do that. But it is also just weird that Raz is running 2 mono greens, so that is going to be a very interesting development.
Yeah, I really like to see the mono green deck in action, and especially versus the mono red deck. It's a big boy contest, let's put it like that. So it is going to be interesting to see. I'm gonna tell the players that they can start going whenever they want. Just a second.
It's also interesting that Raz did not bring his combo deck this time.
Yeah.
So we will not see the blue-green combo deck.
Indeed. And Pavtan chose to go with his red-green ramp and Raz on mono-green. So actually, presuming that red-green ramp has a good matchup here, how do you feel on this matchup?
I would say it probably does. It really does depend on who gets the ramp off first, really. Certainly the red-green ramp has more to ramp into.
Yeah.
So, and more tools to actually ramp into it.
Yeah, at the same time, none of these decks actually is well capable or well equipped to deal with wide board. So anyway, let's have a look. Game's starting. So don't expect a lot of kills on the flop. Nothing seems to be dying right now. Let's see if I can set up the stream properly.
Pavtan does have the stars align and an emissary.
Oh yeah.
And a smash if Raz does get his Salamani's favor down. But no one in hand at the moment, so.
Alright, and there we go.
It's interesting with this matchup because the Gust sort of can act as a pseudo enough magic in this matchup if he gets it off, if he plays it right.
Yeah, I could see that. Actually, the Unearthed Secrets might actually be a really good card in this matchup. He's only got 2 of them though. Oh, Pavtan is playing double smash. Okay. I mean, he is able to hit the Salamani's favor, the secrets, and the mists. So there's gonna be plenty of targets in this matchup. So this is actually pretty heads up from Pavtan. I don't know if he was expecting to play this, but
Yeah, the problem here though with Pavtan's list is he doesn't have any green heroes on the flop, so he cannot play the inner secrets here on this turn. That's
pretty poor, but that is also the reason why he runs 2. It doesn't really want to see that in the initial hand. Opportunity lost though, so let's see. The only direct hero confrontation happening in lane 1 with the 3 seemingly gonna die. He's probably gonna be able to drop that Romusk Blessing before that happens though. Oh no, excuse me, I thought the Omni was coming in for Raz. Right, obviously not.
Well, he doesn't have a kill spell just yet, but we'll see. Does not get the duel.
No.
So he will be able to get the Romusk off if he wants to.
Yeah. Now this is a otherwise very weak lane. Hey Rashid, what's up?
Yeah, sorry about the delay.
No worries, man.
Oh, and he gets the arrows. He can't. There's no good lane to put the unearned secrets in.
Yep. But
Raz is playing mono green.
Yes, he brought 2 mono green lists.
Yeah, he didn't bring his normal storm combo deck this time around. I think he's trying to dodge bad matchups, in a way.
Yeah, Pavtan did bring the 2 mono red to counter that, but he, I guess, decided just not to do it instead.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that Pavtan would, in any case, bring double mono red, don't you think?
Yeah, that's probably why he brought the double mono green, trying to counter that.
Yeah.
But the Raz gets his owners down a turn later, and he still gets to play it, whereas Pavtan has had it, and he still hasn't played his Unearned Secrets. Combined with the Smash in his hand, he kind of has like 2 dead cards, essentially.
Yeah. But it is true that he does have the Stars Align and the Emissary, and his lane 1 is looking really good, and so we might just be in a spot where in a couple of rounds he drops the Emissary into a wide lane.
Probably going to drop the caught unprepared here.
Would be in a prime position for that. Pavtan does have 8 gold, so...
Yeah, I think he was trying to wait until see if maybe Pavtan would buy something, and then after he equips it next turn, he'll then play it.
Yeah.
Or keep it as something that can be used against a ramp attempt.
Yes. I think it's deceivingly good card in the late game, actually, because... yeah, I mean, depending on the deck and how much gold it generates, it can actually be a very good card in the late game. But we'll see. Like you say, it could also be just used as a disruption card. Also, if you're holding on to Gust and you believe that your hero has a 5 gold item that could be Jaspers, you can also use that to force Jaspers somehow and then Gust, depending how much mana you have. Yeah, anyway, as we said, RazDva's first lane is not looking very famous. And
Is there a way for mono green to come back into this lane? Like, I just don't see it.
Not really, I don't think, man.
There goes the Smash.
Yeah. Like I said, there's like 9 targets in RazDva's hand. That card was gonna be good at some point. You drinking some beer there, Rashid?
No Monster, because I just woke up.
Oh, Raz knows that he won't be trying to ramp in this lane at least. So, probably going to try to ramp in next turn.
Yeah, so presumably Raz will try to probably commit slightly more onto lane 3 and try to do the same to Pavtan, get that lane uncontested win.
I share the wisdom of my people.
Wait, Raz is only running Salamani's favor? And
Yeah, he's not running any
he's
stars.
not running stars.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to this mid lane. See who can take it. But at the moment, it'll be the question of whether he decides to spend the healing salve or the phase boost to save the axe.
Wait, is Raz running Mate B's list? Because I'm pretty sure Mate B runs an almost exact copy of this, with no Path of the Dreamer, no Stars Align.
He does have the Rose Leaf Rejuvenator, so it feels like this deck is more like creep-centric than anything else.
Yeah.
Because he's got the Drow, the Lycan, everything, so... Presumably that makes it better against Mono Red, I would think. But let's see. I mean, Ramp is
Phase
going to do
boots
his
are
thing.
down. We'll be able to use the Con Unprepared in the last lane.
Looks like the Drow is going to go down, or at least Pavtan is considering that option.
Uses the phase boots so that he can, if he does duel him, then he'll be able to actually hit the tower.
I obviously forgot there was an all-seeing one's favor. I wonder if he forgot as well, because he made the swap that I was considering too. Because obviously he's 2 damage short here.
He's got a duel to get the kill.
Do you think it's worth it?
Probably, because in this matchup, the one thing you don't want to do is get into against green is have them just stall you out. And he does have the healing salve, so he can heal up axe.
He agrees with you, so... Get some tower damage going. Makes all the creeps that less powerful as well. I'm curious to see if he's gonna cut him prepared here.
He may use the intimidation just to get him out of the lane instead.
But that might
Because
be
at 4
fair,
health, he's...
that could be dangerous.
Could be, it could also be good. He decides not to take an action first, though. That's interesting. He wanted to see what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Wow! He decides to take neither.
Yeah, scared of the TP, presumably, I would think.
That's true. He doesn't know whether that's a healing salve or a TP.
Yeah. I think intimidating would have bit him in the S, regardless of where the hero would go. He's up to 7 gold now as well, Pavtan, so he could potentially draw into a blink. If he does, though, this TOT... Oof. So let's see what happens here. Doesn't hit.
Oh,
the blink.
wow. He's got a Stars Line and a Salamene in his favor. If he wants to ramp up, he can.
Mm-hmm.
At least in both lanes, he can't lock him out of both colors. So if he does try to lock him out of one, he'll be able to play the other color.
Most definitely. Now, since he got the Jasper daggers as well, this LC could also have a huge Berserker's Call here. But of course,
The Jasper Dagger's pickup is good because he can then Stars Align. If he tries to deny the TOT, he can then Jaspers in the TOT.
Yeah, and now this is a critical moment. Raz has to decide what he does. Alright, he wants to prevent the TOT. Oh, and that's a good one. Goes to the last lane.
If he puts the Emissary here now, next turn, Raz is going to be able to steal it back.
Exactly.
However, this lane is not looking good. If he just puts the Jaspers on, he can take it this turn, or he may decide to hold it, which would probably be the smarter move.
Don't you take it now? Because, like, Raz can just flip this lane. He steals the Emissary. Could be hard to take over from this point.
Could be, yeah. That's basically, I think, his line of thinking he has to think about.
Mm-hmm.
But that means he is now open to Gusts and caught unprepareds.
Yeah.
So...
I do like taking the tower though. And now he can contest lane 3 easier as well. So he didn't caught unprepared last round, but now he does it. So he's asking, do you have a TP? If you do, use it. Alright. As we know, he doesn't. And that was a good
and these
one,
heroes, do not want to be in this lane.
No, definitely not. But there was a great caught and prepared as well because it prevented the ramp onto lane 3 for TOT.
Now is the time to strike.
Right. So Unearthed Secrets here could provide him an extra card.
He may want to hold initiative though, so they can get the steal off. It's probably, yeah, that's what he decides to do. Getting that steal off could be really huge, because if he's trying to flip this lane, getting that lane properly flipped is gonna be a big difference. Because now the last lane is kind of more even, and he's not doing great in the mid lane.
It's really... Chen is one of these cards that always impresses me because it looks so poor on paper, but then actually when his ability and his cards are good, they're so good, man. Jeez.
We are made.
So many's into the mid lane, so he's gonna have himself set up for a TOT. Now Raz has to decide if he wants to hold to try to prevent that move or not.
Right. A lot
If
of
he
cards...
wants to keep the emissary alive, though, he's gonna have to hand a god.
And he does definitely go for it. I was going to say, both players holding on to quite a lot of cards at this point in the game. RazDva's hand, though, it feels very... how to say... despite having a lot of cards, doesn't really have a lot of options.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily want these kind of... Like, he doesn't want the Unearths and the Mist as much.
Yeah.
But we'll see how he responds with the Intimidation, if he decides to use that in this lane or not.
Yeah.
He's now flipped the first lane, so he can actually take that next turn.
And interesting, right? Because we were just commenting, like, how the hell does Mono Green take back this lane? Well, there you go. Sneak in chat doesn't seem to be happy with what he's seeing. But,
yeah, well, we've seen Sneaky play in the ACS, and I don't think he knows what he's doing either.
yeah. All right, so two heroes TOT. Obviously, Pavtan still got this this tree that is caught and prepared, but there is an Assassin's Veil, so he's got to choose who to save here. He can save the Bristle in last. I will say though, last lane is looking tougher and tougher to defend. So I wonder if he wants to awaken this tree. Feels like the correct play to me. He's also still got the option of fighting through the pain.
I will learn how to use this.
All right, that represents...
Now Raz has got to decide if he wants to intimidate one of these heroes or not.
Mm-hmm.
If he leaves the axe here, though, he will have a good Berserker's Call next turn, so he goes to take that out. No gold for Blink Dagger, so you will not be able to get out of this lane.
Nope.
Mid lane, though, is now on a timer.
I'll say RazDva's intimidations have been on point until now. Has the option of healing solving here, and otherwise tough to kill the Omni, as always. Now it does give back the initiative, so it's a question of whether Raz wants to hold an initiative, or if he wants to reap the rewards of dropping potentially a Mist and those Unearthed Secrets. A lot of value to potentially be gained. He could eventually even be threatening Ancient on lane 1.
Yeah, it is also interesting because he doesn't really have anything good either, though, with the Gust to do with, but he wants that initiative.
He's setting up for a duel here. And he can still take back initiative as well. He needs to heal, but unfortunately the heal doesn't bring him up beyond 12, so...
Oh, he needed to probably Gust there.
He really wants to keep the initiative though, so... It's actually... I mean, how bad is it to actually get rid of a duel in his hand though? Oh, he doesn't. He does?
Wanted the armor. He wanted the armor so that he could stay alive. Because if he didn't do that, then he would have taken more damage. But would have been only 1 health.
Tough decision to make there. Do notice that Pavtan is actually running down the clock much harder than Raz, so... And Pavtan
I feel like
is
Raz...
a chronic roper.
Raz should have definitely gusted there. There was really no reason to hold initiative. Like, what's he trying to... I mean, there's not really much Pavtan can do.
Oh, another emissary. He could be going for 80 here quite easily next round. Feels like.
Ed really wanted the gust. I have a tough time at mid lane though. There's not much he can do, but it's a good chance that Pavtan won't be able to take it this turn though.
So, yeah, I was wondering if he should drop the wolf. I realize this is difficult math to do, but I kind of feel like he should be pushing damage here.
He wants it as a blocker in mid lane because he doesn't know what Pavtan's got in his hand.
Sure.
But he's wider. Pavtan's wider, so any creeps he plays in the mid lane are going to give him an advantage.
Right, he drops the inner secret. Obviously, there is siege damage here. So he is able to use that. Okay, he's definitely not going the aggressive route. It doesn't seem like he's that much interested in getting the 80 on the Ancient here. But he's got a ways to go before he finishes lane 2 or 3.
Really needs to play. Well, the thing is, he's got to play defense because because he lost lane 3 now. He needs something that can either take that lane back or he's got to defend. Trying to go for Ancient is going to lose him in the middle. But now Pavtan can go wide in this lane. He could drop the Emissary, he could start a line into a Rose Leaf. He's got lots of different options.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Raz, the heroes are not together, so Gust doesn't double silence. Both players have access to these emissaries as well. So we can go for a combination of plays here, being up to 10 mana as well. If he chooses for the emissary, he can't play anything else, but he could potentially drop Wolf, Ramusk, Mist. I said just that playing for Mist doesn't feel great when you're on the back foot. So this is a major decision. Notice that Pavtan has 2 seconds on the clock, so...
The thunder in the roots.
I think he's trying to rope him.
How can I help?
Well, right now it seems like his only hope of winning.
At the quorum's behest.
You can't hope to be.
I can't help but feel that Raz should have gone for Ancient Kill.
Don't worry, it'll be a clean death.
It's probably because he couldn't take it this turn, so...
But I think with double Emissary
Like,
and
it
Mist, it
wasn't enough.
may have been enough. But yeah, I would have had to need to do the math, and I didn't, obviously. So
Yeah, he should have gusted and misted in last lane last turn. Because that would have really helped him. But now he's just in a weird position. This is the problem with this matchup, is that the red-green ramp actually has more ramp and more payoff than the green list does. So when it gets to this stage of the game, he's got more tools to play, and then he has more reactive tools to be able to clear the board.
for sure. presumably Raz was hoping to face mono red, right? So I think Pavtan kind of next leveled him here.
A gift from the quorum.
Right. Gets confirmation on this lane. Needs to probably play that Ramusk and missed. He can still survive one more turn, one more hit from the Time of Triumph.
Yeah, but he's got another Time of Triumph for that
Yeah.
hand. If he gets that off,
Exactly.
it's over.
Rewarded.
Because he's got nothing that can stop that. This game's just over.
Yeah, and Pavtan has the initiative too.
Yeah, and Raz is giving him initiative freely anyway. He had the choice here, multiple times to keep initiative.
Follow me.
Opting not to. He will draw 2 cards here, so pay attention to that. He has used 2 intimidates though. There's one
Oh, he gets
intimidate.
it.
Oh,
Doesn't have initiative though, so
Tremble before.
it's fine. He just
Yes.
intimidates the tree.
intimidates
He
the
lives
tree,
one more turn.
and he needs to deal damage to the tower though. That's the only one thing he's not doing.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
It's still not quite enough though. But there is a
He's got the
Berserker
phase
Skull.
boots. He's got the phase boots.
And the Berserker Skull, okay.
Has decided to enter
So that pretty much locks Pavtan as the winner of game 1.
Yeah, because even if he did somehow not survive, if somehow survived in the 3rd lane, there's no way he's taking this mid tower quick enough.
Yeah, it really feels like the big decision here was not going for Ancient kill, I would say. Yeah, I feel like Raz got otherwise relatively lucky on the Intimidates. And he
Somewhat.
managed to overtake
It could
the
also
lanes.
it could also be argued that in attempting to flip the 1st lane, he didn't play enough defense in the mid lane, giving himself the option, where that Pavtan was able to get this big kind of lead here.
Yeah.
I won't abandon you.
It's also true that that Raz didn't see any blinks. But it is also
Neither
true.
did Pavtan.
I was gonna say it's also true that the Pavtan also didn't, and Raz only plays the 2 blinks. So, all right, there we have it. Game number 1 is in the books. Gonna show the deck lists there a bit. Rashid, have you seen that I have new channel rewards?
Yeah, let me look. Change a card in. What the fuck? 1 billion coins?
I knew you'd like
And
that.
why am I lumped in with Enjo? He's fucking trash, dude.
For the lulz, bro.
No, like 1 billion points, it's fine, I get it. But being compared to Enjo,
Good times. All right, so what we're looking at right now with Pavtan winning with his red-green is that he's basically not able to play red-green now or mono-blue. So we're gonna have to see him go for his mono-red or his mono-black. Those are his 2 remaining options right now. RazDva, on the other hand, is able to play his mono-green, mono-red, and his black-red decks. So as the players get ready, I will go through these deck lists quickly just to show you guys, but not much in the way of special tech in these decks.
I think Raz was trying to basically make the mono green the special tech, but so far not paying off.
Well, if nothing else, I think Pavtan managed to pull RazDva's Raz's leg for this match. But yeah, now that his options are a bit more limited, let's see. It will be interesting to see what he goes for. Just waiting for
wait, Pavtan runs Relentless Pursue instead of Grunt or Slay in mono black. That's interesting.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. Like, you can get your blinks easily with this list. I don't know why you want the Relentless Pursue.
I think Relentless Pursue is one of these cards that is particularly good on the 1-copy spell, because it's difficult to play around and it's scary sometimes for the opponents.
Yeah, it's better though in like either an aggro list or in lists that only have one, that have multiple lists, multiple colors.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Mono red versus mono red.
We're going to be looking at the mirror here. I would say Pavtan's got more experience, but yeah.
Yeah, experience on mono red. Don't think it matters.
Right. What do you think does matter though?
TOT on 8. That's all that matters this matchup.
It's a little more than that, because sometimes you can win before that even becomes a thing if you get the right cards. Okay, so now we get to look at the differences here.
2 Dresdens.
Pavtan does have that one smash in his list, whereas RazDva doesn't have that. And he's got the 2 Dresdens and the 2 spot weaknesses. Pavtan also only has 1 Red Mist Pillager, so we'll see if that comes into play or not.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those cards where you have to be aware of it. If nothing else, you have to be afraid of it.
And Raz has 2 duels, so how he uses those will be really impactful in this matchup.
Alright, so very uneventful round 1. Coming into round 2, there is a Bristol matchup, and look at that. Raz does have 2 duels in hand. He's setting up the Bristol. He doesn't have initiative. And Pavtan doesn't draw the duel, so there's going to be an opportunity here for Raz's Bristol to get swollen. Now the question is if he wants to move here. Doesn't have a great spot for the Stonehall Elite. He could play for the curve, or he could potentially drop the standard bearer, but kind of feel like the correct play here is to keep the duel, the initiative.
Yeah, this is one of those tough spots, because there's not like a specific line of play that's like obviously good. It's never good when your opponent can kill a hero and you can't.
Gives initiative away. Would rather go wide. He is losing the axe, obviously.
And despite only having 1, Pavtan does get his Red Mist Pillager. But with the 2 duels, it'll be a real question of that. He wants to pass here, which is smart.
Alright. And Raz's play actually going in his favor. Getting lucky, not playing around the duel, and reaping the rewards. His Bristle will die, but he doesn't care. The Call of the Wild will be available once he comes back, and that armor can be extremely important in this matchup.
Well, depending on how they spend their gold, that could be costly though, because that's going to be 2 kills, and you know how Pavtan spends that gold will be a big impact on how this game goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because early kills matter, and the Bristle is still at only 4 health, so he's not that hard to remove. But you know, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. And the other thing that I'm really noticing is that neither in lane 2 or 3 does he have a good spot. Does Pavtan have a good spot for Bronze Legionnaire nor Stonehall Elite? two prime cards to play in the early game, and he didn't have a place to play them in either lane. So it feels bad, man, for him there. The tides come in. Obviously, this is a complete hero mirror. Stacking up, both players stacking up onto lane 1. Now, Pavtan does want to get an opportunity to drop that Red Mist Pillager. Doesn't look like he's set up to get it. Especially
Well,
because-
dropping the tide in the second lane gives him the potential to get it down, but it all comes down to what people pass.
Yeah. Alright, so Pavtan's got the initiative. It's often very good to be the reactive player in this mirror. Not always the best, especially in the early game, to be the proactive player. And yeah, Pavtan recognizing that does pass initiative back to Raz. I feel like Raz can just pass here though. He might be considering dropping the Jasper daggers just to deal damage to the axe, but there is a phase boots. And I don't know how much it matters to actually deal damage to him straight away. Oh.
Raise the bull snake high.
Can't resist the temptation of dropping a creep next to that.
Should
mean,
probably
who would
respond
that
with the
say?
bronze Lego.
Yeah, he's got multiple options here. He's got the bronze Lego, the duel. He could even drop potentially the red mist pillager in front of the flag bearer, but he might regret that.
Nah, you wouldn't use the duel, because then you'd have to also then use the heal here to just stay alive. That'd be a lot of investment. Okay, he says to use the duel on the bear. That makes sense.
Yeah. Prevents a bunch of damage, and he can still drop the Lego if he wants.
Yeah, you should drop the Lego here.
The Legion has arrived.
Recognizes that the tide can't hit the creep, so he swaps. So, pretty smooth lane for Pavtan this time around.
Ooh.
This is
Wants
gonna
to use the Veil, but he's going to get the healing salve on him. Problem with Pavtan in this turn is that there's no real good other move to spend the mana for Raz.
Yeah,
So he's probably not going to get a good pillager down.
exactly. And Raz doesn't. If Raz had a Berserker's Call next round, well, actually the Tide wouldn't die, so forget about that. Yeah, Pavtan's just trying to force Raz to move. That's not gonna happen. And
Gets impatient. Tries to play it. Question is here, will he play the Jasper Daggers or will he hold it for Primal Roars?
yeah,
Make a
He wants the kill.
goes
See if
for
that
it.
bites him in the butt later on.
Let's see. He's got enough experience in the matchup, like I said, that he should be able to analyze these situations properly. If only from gut feeling.
Well, Raz has also played a lot of mono red too. That was his when he wasn't playing his combo list. He often played mono red.
Right, both players managing to cycle heroes until now, but obviously none of Pavtan's heroes died last round, and these start to be the critical rounds where the game is where we're in the mid game, but we're gonna start turning onto the late game. So it's gonna be actually critical if heroes die here and where they redeploy for potentially TOT. A great berserkers there from Raz. Also notice that Raz already has a TOT.
The hunt begins.
Yeah, this turn in particular is going to be really telling for Pavtan, because if he loses too many heroes and too many lanes, he does not have any heroes coming back next turn, so he cannot relocate people. He's got to be really worried about that at the Legion in last lane. It says that enough magic, if he holds initiative, he could just enough magic and lock out the LC. But Pavtan does also have the Krakens.
Our hunt is a sacred right. You won't impede us.
You think I travel
The
alone?
calls of the wild come out. The lane gets wide. And Pavtan's just been drawing a lot of creeps, so he has the option of making the lane extra wide.
Yeah, Raz sees the play, and so he opts to keep initiative, pushing Pavtan to them. But Pavtan could easily play a Bronze Lego, or even both of them, honestly. He should probably only play one, and then Kraken.
We serve at Emperor Galanius's.
Even then, he doesn't really have much actions he could even do in the last lane, so... Best bet would probably be to blink one of these heroes out of here into the last lane, but probably not going to do that because he doesn't want to give any damage. Despite the fact that he's done a pretty good job of controlling this lane, he hasn't done a lot of damage in this mid tower.
No.
Who can stand
In fact,
against
none
us?
of the players has done any damage to any of the towers. It's been a very close game until now, I'd say.
Raz had the discipline and did not play the Call of the Wild there.
Yeah.
Gets the kill, is going to have a free lane there, but we'll see if he actually can do much with it.
Yeah, no hair is coming in for Pav. He does have the blink, as we've mentioned before.
Oh, if he goes in the first lane, that's going to be pretty dangerous, potentially. He does not get punished. Pavtan now does not have that Jasper Daggers, so
Yeah.
whatever action he takes will be really important.
And a huge draw for Pavtan as he sees his first TOT, so both players have a TOT in hand right now. And they also do have Primal Aurora and Spring, so this is indeed the mirror match. Let's see how it plays out.
Hampton's probably best move is to probably just spring into one of these lanes.
Goes for mid.
It's interesting. If he had sprung into the last lane, he could probably slow that down pretty much, but he really wants to push mid lane more.
Yeah, and there is a curve on the
Even
LCS.
an argument to go into this lane with it, but looks like Raz is going to try to hold Tide's ability.
Yeah,
most
exactly.
likely.
Because that's the thing, though, is that if both players are going to try to TOT here, the Ravage might be the deciding factor.
Trust in time.
So it will be interesting to see which lanes the players will want to Primal Roar and TOT on.
Only problem though is if Pavtan, well, never mind, he does that move. That's a weird move. If he hadn't done that switch, he could have had the option for a Berserker's Call to kill the Tide if he had initiative.
Alright, Raz gets lucky on the Centaur facing the Elite.
Pavtan really doesn't have any options really here. He doesn't have any cards that are really that great. It's probably just best for him to hold initiative.
Raz has seen all his 3 duels. He's holding his 3rd in hand.
Don't you
And
get
surely
it?
we're going to see the Call of the
I'm
Wild this
toying
time
with
around.
you.
No, Raz knows he does not have the Kraken Gel.
Right, holds it. Very disciplined.
He really wants initiative for that first lane.
Yeah.
So he can make sure he can get off the Tide stun.
There's no one I won't face.
Alright, so let's see how much damage he can do here. He's got the Viscous Goo. Can, if nothing else, get the trade. And here it is, the big turn. He's still alive, Rashid?
Yeah, I'm here.
Raz already has 2 blink daggers though. Pavtan only picked up 1. So it's going to be an interesting decision to see what they do with those blink daggers. Both of them are going for a 3-man TOT. Or potentially a primal call.
Let's see how the Ravage goes.
Could primal him out if he wanted to do that action, but it probably is better just to do the TOT. But if he does that, then he could get primaled as well. So it's a weird matchup that they have here.
Yeah, but how bad is it to get primal? Like, one hero is gonna go into another lane, it's TOT'd. If it's last, now you're winning last.
Well, it's certainly worse for Pavtan to get primaled because he does not have any Jasper daggers, whereas RazDva still has the Jasper daggers. So whatever's primaled can just be taken out, and then it would still have the TOT.
Good kind is going to write
Alright.
about this.
Pops the TOT, 3-man TOT, so much value. And now we'll see.
Raz can, plus the equipped phase boots can shift over, get at least 2 guaranteed hits.
Do you think it just pops it no matter what, or he waits for the blagger, for the blink dagger
Blagger.
to come out? The blagger, dude, the blagger. Or he waits for the, oh, okay.
Nicely.
Pavtan is not, does not care. That's an interesting decision.
I think you've got
But now
push
he's
it.
forcing him to either push the button right now or to get out of the lane.
I think you just push it, because if you know he's gonna blink anyway, I would have rather
There's a
gotten
reason
the
Axe is the
50% chance, but alright, opting not to. So he's obviously now in a tougher situation in lane 3, but obviously he's also holding his own 2 blinks. He's been stacking a lot of items in his hand.
Oof, he made a mistake there. He should have used the Tide Stun. But maybe he's not going to use it. And that's kind of maybe the thing now.
He might go to... He could potentially try to Ravage in mid, but... It's just so much worse than Pavtan's Ravage, though.
Also interesting thing with this swap is that if Raz has initiative, although he likely won't, Primal Roar is really a thing. Wow, he decides not to. He's holding on to that stun. He really wants to use it on a more impactful turn.
No stun, no blink, nothing. He's saying, I want to win the damage race in lane 1, and then we'll see about it.
So what does Pavtan do here?
He must be considering the Roar to get rid of the Ravage. And Pavtan's ability to do anything at all in this lane, really.
Well, Raz passed. So
he passed?
it's Pavtan's
Oh
turn.
yeah, excuse me. What?
He did.
Okay.
He's really holding on to that Call of the Wild. At this point, he could have played it twice. Wow, both players passing. Nobody wants to take an action there.
Ooh, I did not see that happening. Okay.
Now Pavtan's just got this easy lane. He can just drop the brawler and then take initiative with the crack.
At least, if nothing else, that mid lane, I think you can read into it that there's no TOT nor Spring in any player's hands, right? If either of them had a TOT or a Spring, they would have played them, right? So if you're gonna put them, so if you're gonna put them on some big spell, I think you put them, like, if you're in the game, you put your opponent on Primal, which actually both players have.
Raz is not in a good position though. He's totally losing last lane, and he's kind of in a stalemate in both these other lanes.
Mm-hmm. Really feel like I should have blinked from lane 1.
Yeah, it doesn't help him to have 3 heroes here with TOT, because...
So he did in sequence refuse to try to stun the blink of the Bristol, and he refused to blink himself, so he basically just gave the lane away, and now he's in a tough spot. Oh, is there another TOT? Yeah, there is another TOT.
He stops it, but now he can bring down... This is where he can bring down the Jasper daggers and then the stun. But then the problem is that Pavtan does have duel in his hand, so I don't know if that's enough on any of these heroes with the
Doesn't
5
look like-
armor.
None of them's got a Jaspers, so it doesn't look like it's enough. And I do notice now as well this Pavtan is drawing his smash,
I'm coming.
so he's
boy.
playing with a card less.
Question is, will Pavtan actually blink out of here?
He does. It's actually great for Raz that the Jaspers also translates into a kill on the LC because both towers are still relatively healthy. I was just about to say he could even do it. Didn't believe he was gonna do it though. But thought he might want to keep that duel to lane 3, but of course he wouldn't be able to kill the Bristol, so... Alright. Do you even Ravage at this point?
That gives him the duel.
Fears no one.
Alright, this is now a Pavtan lane as well, so it's looking pretty tough for Raz.
Yeah, the problem now is Pavtan, or Raz, needs to be able to get
Attention to
the
the clock
Primal
as well.
Roar.
Dare
Attention
face
to the
me.
clock.
Pavtan is running really low on time, though.
Dude, play something. Alright.
Play something, do something. It's your turn. It's your turn.
Oh, please see that. Oh,
Do
he's gonna
something.
lose.
Oh, come on!
Oh, that was so close to it. I hope he's noticing this.
Lost control of the situation.
He has to, because when you're running low on time, there's a lady that keeps nagging in your ear.
Yes, but we have seen Pavtan lose at the time before.
As is trying to snake him out. That's what he's trying to do. Mid lane has just become a stalemate. Raz, though, does have initiative at the moment, so he could primal potentially into that last. Pavtan probably spamming the space bar.
This game is very close, I'll say. So there is now phase boots, but obviously the BB's got phase of his own, so let's see.
It's not to do that. Interesting. So if he used the primal, the problem he has is if he goes into the first lane, then he's giving him the first lane for free, and if he goes into the, he's kind of in that weird situation.
Well, I like the chop block, actually.
Yeah, Pavtan now just has to pretty much just stay on the spacebar. He doesn't really have any good plays here.
Well, do you know what he could do? But of course it's a very high-risk play. He could swap the axe in front of the bristle, drop the blinks, and use the veil to kill the bristle. I think it's enough damage.
Don't worry, Axe. Good kind.
I wonder if that's what he's gonna do.
Just gives up initiative.
But he is kind of in a tough spot, meaning that lane 1 is anyway tough for him right now. Well, his Beastmaster does have TOT, so there's that.
Raz could also play the Dresdens here too, potentially.
Yep.
Instead, he really wants that initiative. He's really big on just holding initiative a lot of times. It's the blink and a fountain flask if he wants it.
Force surrender in 30 seconds.
Alright, so another 30 seconds for Pavtan to play with. It feels like every single hero is TOT. I mean, they aren't, but it really feels like. Alright, draws the Berserk, has a Primal, and he's got enough magic. How are these towers so healthy, dude?
No one played any early game stuff.
No.
When they did, they all got countered. What's crazy is that RazDva still has not used the Call of the Wild.
He really
He
wants
could have played it like 3 times by now.
Yeah, he's really keeping it for the chump blocks, isn't he?
I've
But it's not that bad because realistically he really wants to. Him not playing it has actually been generally pretty good. He probably could at least played it once by now.
Right, and now we are starting to feel the difference between playing 2 TOTs and playing 1 TOT. Pavtan's heroes, if they're not TOT'd, they feel so much weaker, and actually all 5 heroes, all 5 of RazDva's heroes are TOT'd, so it might be why he's playing so defensively, because he knows he's gonna get the damage through.
By me, and we will not fail.
Well, he also does have Tide coming back, and Tide does still have his Ravage.
Stride through this battlefield.
Oof. It looks like he may have finally turned this mid lane to his control. He won't have initiative here, but it's not like Raz or Pavtan has too many moves he could do. I mean, he could put the Brawler down, or he could put the Legion down if he wants to just go wide.
I understand my orders.
But Raz really doesn't have anything he can do in response. He could try to primal, but which would buy him another turn, basically.
Yeah, tough spot for him.
He's got to read that if he wants to keep that in the primal, because also Pavtan still doesn't have another Jasper daggers, so he would be stopped there. Oh, he gives him the lane. He wants probably initiative for first lane so that he can use the Ravage.
I mean, Pavtan could potentially even drop another Brawler and blink out, but he doesn't. Takes the tower. I think he should. I like
Well, if he blinked out, then that would actually be pretty bad, because then Axe would be still here and he'd be doing 10 damage. And Raz hadn't spent any mana yet, so.
Alright.
He does get the Jaspers now, though.
Exactly. So now that changes things.
In 30 seconds.
Despite the fact that Pavtan didn't have Jaspers for a long time, Raz never really exploited that. But with this deployment, if Pavtan goes into this lane, he will be able to get primaled as well.
And the placement.
Ooh, didn't get the perfect one though.
Alright, he's gonna have to get slightly lucky, and even then, let's see.
Could also Berserker's Call.
True, he would kill the Beastmaster, he would kill the Axe as well, that is true.
Raz has got a lot of options.
And if he drops the Jaspers on the Beast, then the LC is in trouble. He sees it.
And he can still swap with the Tide to do the stun later on.
This is not looking good for Pavtan at all.
No, he's running out of time as well once more. 2 seconds, Pav. Okay. It is unfortunate that it is this way, but it really does seem like that the difference maker here was drawing the second TOT, really.
For the glory of Stonehall.
And like I said, if Raz wants to drop the Jaspers, the LC is going to be dead, and it's going to be a really tough next round for Pavtan. He's running out of time once more.
The jungle will protect me.
0 seconds.
I lead by example.
Oh, he's got it, doesn't he? He just swaps with the Tide into the Legion Standard Bearer.
Oh yeah. There'll be an additional 8 plus 4. Yeah.
Then Pavtan has to get out of this lane. Question is now, will Raz leave this lane with anybody? But he can't really without not taking the tower.
No, it doesn't have gold. It doesn't have mana for the mercenary exiles. So leaving leaves him just short.
Yeah, but he just wins next turn because of TOT siege damage.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, and also because the Tide, Pavtan's Tide isn't TOT'd, and he still has the Primal Roar. Oh, he swaps back.
Wait.
He wanted to keep the
Yeah,
Legion Standard Bearer alive.
and he wanted to kill the Brawler. I like it, actually. Alright, Spring prevents most of that damage. But once again, he's just gonna end it next round.
Well, I just placed the Mercenary Exile down, probably. If he hadn't spent the
You're just a spoke on the
phase boots, he could have potentially swapped with phase.
Seems to be enough, though. Not gonna suffer due to that. Yeah, Pavtan looking very grim right now. The Tide doesn't even have the Ravage. Raz still holding the Jaspers. This Bristle can blink out.
Oh, if he's going to leave the lane, he should TP out.
Realizes that he needs more XP on that Bristle, but this is just gonna be brutal. Triple TOT against one TOT.
None of them are going to be all lined up, so it's pretty much over for Pavtan.
Yeah, looking
Raz
like
still
a
has
draw.
he's got so many tools to stop this. Got the Ravage, he's got the Primal Roar.
Can't believe he held that Ravage and that Call of the Wild for so long. Very disciplined.
Yes, it was very good on him.
Oh, and there's the second TOT.
Yeah, but a little too late though.
Yeah, even with the 3 TOT charges, he would be dealing 12. And he's unfortunately unable to play TOT plus another spell. Doing the math here. He's not gonna like the math though.
No, he's not. Trying to see if he can maybe get the
Kill.
no, but that yeah. There's oh, I guess he's gonna try and
Draw
Yeah.
the game.
That wouldn't be. I don't think it's possible. Alright. So that's Raz winning and bringing the game up to a draw. I will say Raz is now unable to play his mono red, while Pavtan is still able to play mono red and his mono black. So Raz right now only able to play mono green or black red. What do you guys think of that game? It was I think Rashid predicted it though. It was really up to the TOT.
It is. That's all the matchup. Like, let me tell you a story, okay? One of the LHL qualifiers literally was the first day ever I played Mono Red. I literally played it for like 2-3 games and prized before the lobby. And then I played against DMZ and Pavtan, and they were both also playing Mono Red, and I beat both of them. Because I drew TOT and they didn't. That's all that matchup is.
Well, I think when the players are of similar skill, it does make a huge difference for sure.
I'll take that as you saying I'm the same skill as Pavtan and DMZ and say thank you.
Exactly.
Finally, appreciating my
You
skills.
see it? I'm not always toxic.
Yeah, but you took away my invite. So.
1 billion points or whatever it is, dude.
Nobody promised me if May It Be wasn't in, I was getting invited instead.
Oh god. I'm gonna have to listen to this the rest of my life.
I mean, all you gotta, yeah, I mean, all you gotta do, Rashid, is watch his channel enough times to get 1 million points.
He doesn't even stream enough. Okay, wait.
Can you watch the replays?
No, it doesn't.
That's a
It
good
doesn't
question.
give you
He's
channel
gonna be
points.
farming my replays.
No, it doesn't give you channel points, sadly. Okay, so since we're between games 9, can you explain that channel intro, please?
The channel intro is just me presenting myself to the channel. Is there something to explain? I don't understand.
Well, what was the thought process or the artistic vision behind it?
The artistic vision was me turning on my webcam, and that's just what came out, dude.
Well, we got a mono green versus a mono red matchup.
All right, finally. Jesus. I mean, we got Sneaky coming through, and he didn't really play mono green yet, so the mono green master. So let's go.
Pavtan's got the smash though, and the smell of many favors in the hand of Raz.
Wow. He might be able to play around it though if he plays the favor backwards and holds initiative, but we'll see. Chat says they're learning a lot from you today, Reddish.
Yeah, I mean, always. I'm very educational.
I mean, I always learn a lot from your streams, so just not about artifacts, but
I mean,
Excuse you?
he's the new swim of Artifact.
is that the sick burn? Just kidding. Just kidding. Good one. All right, so as you'd expect, not much stuff dying. This is the big boys matchup. So you know, let's see how second round comes through, because it looks like the tree and the Lycan are not so happy right now. Initiative for Raz.
Oh, but he gets a nice curve, but probably won't matter because the stone hall will come down.
You think you stone hall or you duel? Because the duel is really tempting here as well. Will get you tower damage, will prevent
Well,
you...
if he duels, he still dies.
Does he though? Because he gains 2 armor and he takes 2 power out of the crit.
Oh yeah. Well,
So-
he'll have 1. He'll have he'll take 1 damage.
Yeah,
so he'll be
he'll
2
alive.
health.
Yeah. Alright, so Pavtan's considering it. If he does do it though, there will be no place to play the Savage Wolf actually. I was gonna say the Savage Wolf would be... Oh, interesting.
Oh, he wants to do double duel. Okay.
Alright, so now this is a prime spot for the wolf. This is not gonna... I feel like this might have been a mistake. Bit greedy from him, huh?
And get it curves.
Yeah, unfortunately for Raz, but it doesn't matter. As long as it grows, that's what he wants, really. Right?
Certainly with Tide coming in, it doesn't matter that much, but really annoying though to have Ramusk in your hand, have 2 heroes in a lane, and it still not be a good play.
Yeah,
It's a Silamani in turn 1.
exactly. So he kind of can dodge the smash potentially. Let's see how it plays out. He's gonna have to abandon the lane for a round though, because he's only got the chant coming in, and this tree is dead.
The other problem he's got is that that next turn, the only thing he can ramp up to at the moment is the Hand of God, so there's a good chance that the smash will get off and kill it.
When the Legion stands united, none can defeat us.
Pavtan is definitely liking this start.
Man, All Seeing One's favor is so annoying. It's surprisingly one of the most annoying spells in the game. I find, personally.
Ed in particular has more of a problem with it, but if you're playing against blue, obviously, they're just like, ha ha ha.
Sure.
I clear.
Blue does that a lot, though.
And depending upon if they're playing with Enchantress or if they must the lane, then also so does black. Oof, he's going to be giving the mid lane up.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of damage, potentially. And if Pavtan does also draw the the Red Mist Pillager, he may get a pretty nice lane.
Well, there are 3 heroes coming in next round, so depending where his creeps go in, Raz might potentially commit back to it, but his lane 1 is looking really good. Right.
Oh, that smash. That's so good.
Indeed. I don't feel like it's game breaking here though, because the duel does nothing.
Wisdom and power.
He's still ramping with the druid, so he's going to be able to go up to 7 mana next round. I'm not sure if he's going to be wanting to Hand of God, but if nothing else, he's dealing 12 damage. This wolf's growing.
For the glory of Stonehall!
I will smite our enemies.
Alright, he's going to
He's
try
gonna go
to
in
play.
the second lane, looks like.
Yeah, he's going to try to play for both lanes. I also like this.
Yeah, that Blink Dagger pickup was pretty good for him.
And also notice that the placement on the tide is like the worst placement possible. 2 rounds until Ravage though, so...
Yeah, he's got to put the Blink Dagger on tide if he wants to even just kill the creep.
Which he might actually want to do.
I go where I please.
Oh, not a bad spot. F10's got to be careful that he doesn't just nasal goo right here. Else he could get a wolf to the face to LC. Of course, he then could also portal out, but then the wolf thing gets to grow.
Have you played much Mono Green, Rashid?
Jay coached me on it for one stream, and we lost to every mono red deck we played against. But it was a different list with Path of the Dreamer, which really like changes how you play this matchup.
Okay. I mean, the Roseleaf Rejuvenator actually might be a really good in this matchup. I'm saying this without having any experience playing Mono Green.
Goes for the LC one's favor instead of the wolf to the face. Really wants to keep that as a blocker.
So I'm not quite actually completely sure what are the key turns for green here. I mean, I guess there is no obvious key turn. It's really whether you manage to drop the emissary before round 6, right? But
Yeah, I mean, if he can get it on 6, that would be good too. But that's kind of his thing. If he can get the ramp off and get the emissary down, that'll be a key turn.
as
But
for the wolf, I assume we're gonna see a duel here. It is a wolf with 2 regen, so... Alright, duel comes out. That's his second duel of the game.
yeah, see, this is where if he had played it last turn in the mid lane, he could have killed LC or at least forced him to use the town portal scroll. All he really accomplished otherwise is just getting it on the hero and having 2 health in the mid lane.
Alright, so triple deploying into mid. He really wants to fight for it. I will say I like it. I really
like it, but I don't like the fact that you only have a drow in first lane. That's going to be so killable.
But he does have
If the right
initiative,
cards are-
and he does have Hand of God, so... I assume we're gonna see that? Alright, great.
Yeah,
He didn't draw
you
the
have to.
duel or Berserker's Call, though. That wouldn't have made a difference. So, only thing that would have made a difference is he would have been able to phase boots it.
This is tough. Surely you nasal goo and you reposition the tide if you want to stun next round. But still... It's the wolf, though. The wolf is surprisingly annoying.
Somewhat, but it's also that tower is still pretty healthy, and if he gets creeps in here, he'll be fine. It's the one problem that Mono Green has, is that it doesn't have an easy way to just clear out the creeps. It kind of just has to hope that you can't block them. He is setting up the Primal Roar for next turn, though. Or if he draws a duel or a Berserker's Call.
The Bronze Legion is not welcome in Roseleaf.
Yeah, that LC is suffering right now. There's a Veil. Oh,
I needed that.
feeling very confident in this lane. Romusking into first.
Well, he needed to Ramusk into first because he didn't want to have that just die, but
Sometimes
now it's a question of what he'll do with this intimidation.
Yeah. I will say the drow now is pretty hard to kill, and there's an emissary, so let's see how much Pavtan can do to prevent this sequence of plays. Alright, making sure the Chen is gonna get that ability off. Omni's still doing a great job of preventing damage in lane 3. This Axe feeling pretty weak right now.
Yeah, these intimidations don't feel great.
No.
Definitely doesn't want to intimidate in this lane because he doesn't want to push him into other lanes. And now the other lanes make sense.
Oh. Gets the Axe trapped into mid. He would have been trapped in either lane anyway, but notice there is a double spring, so this could be a huge actual round for Pavtan, and he doesn't hit a blink. That hurts. He does have the blink on the tide, so there is the option of stunning, blinking away. It's all about what that emissary is gonna do, because there's gonna be creep stealing and a lot of pumping here. Those are all the
Well,
TLCs.
If he does do tide right now, or if he does something else. There are no Jaspers in Raz's hand, so. But it could also just completely whiff. Oh, he's the primal to get rid of the Roseleaf Druid, so we cannot.
Something for the fight.
He moves that to the next lane.
Heads up play.
Long after
I mean, now
his
needs to
age
protect the
has
tree, but I
passed,
assume we're gonna see that
I shall
that Legionnaire getting stolen. Unless he really favors waiting for Spring the Traps or any such cards.
Well, Raz does tend to hold his cards, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him hold it. He might even blink. I think that's potentially what he's thinking about. But here, Pavtan blinks the last lane.
If he wants to drop the Unearthed Secrets, it's also nice to have the Bronze Legionnaire hitting
Here's
the tower.
something for the fight.
He agrees. So he's going for the cards, and he is running very low on cards, we'll say.
That means he probably... Oh yeah, he's going to blink out of here. Because he's got the Lycan coming in next. Gets another emissary. Exactly what he wants.
win this war together.
I will say though, the Lycan, if he drops next to the Drow, is going to be very vulnerable to a potential Berserker Skull, so let's see.
Well, he'll be fine, at least initially, because Priscilla only has 8 attack. But
Off comes the Spring, and this opens the window for Emissary to come down. This is going to be brutal.
Yeah, this is really rough. There's gonna be an emissary for lane 1 next turn too. It's not looking good for Pavtan.
Nope. And he's running out of time as well, so roping hard as he does.
I've come to accelerate the inevitable.
wow, he still doesn't pull. A lot of discipline on RazDva.
He really likes to threaten those skills, doesn't he? I like it.
The question is, will he Ravage? Or, yeah, the Readiness Villager. Which he can get away with, although there is the Intimidation. I will say both players are doing a good job at keeping each lanes even and not really letting one guy run away with any of the lanes.
He gives initiative to Raz though, so that emissary is gonna come down, I think, no matter what now. When he gets double creep deployment, so he could even have a nice deployment on the Lycan. Let's see where he drops.
It is TOT turn though.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it's gonna matter. Cloak, healing salve. Oh, Hand of God now as well. But I think you cannot pass on that emissary. Because he's got creeps with 7 HP. His heroes are gonna be out of TOT. Yeah.
Has asked me to deliver a message.
Now he could still swap and try to go for the Berserkers, but the pump is gonna save the Lycan, so.
Well, he could swap, and then he can then put the Jaspers on because he can no longer play Gust or the Intimidate.
And that would deal with both heroes. Would kill the Bristle though, and there's still a huge hit on the tower.
Let's see you try to survive this.
Doesn't go for it.
What could possibly harm Axe now?
It does go for the swamp for next turn though.
Just what I was looking for.
Okay, Cloak. We're gonna see the heal.
I'm not used to acts of kindness.
And shortly Raz can read into that swap. I don't think he's played any Berserkers yet. No, he hasn't, so...
This mid lane though is not looking good. Pavtan doesn't even elect to spring.
None can oppose the Quorum's will.
So Raz could opt to actually intimidate the Chen. Yeah, he does. Alright. I like that too.
The world rejoices at your strength.
Still kills the beast, still gets towered down, and Tower 1 is
This is
looking
an
good.
80 threat too.
Indeed. I
They
tried
want to get that Ravager off.
Is unfortunately not as good as he was hoping for, but he's got 2 seconds on the clock, so he's got to be snappy either way.
Soon spring into this lane.
Gives initiative back to Raz, so I presume we're gonna see Raz hold on to it. He's got a Hand of God.
Doesn't need it though. He's got nothing dying. At least in this lane.
In first
I
lane,
mean, he might do it in first lane.
yeah, that's what I meant. Keep it to play. Keep initiative so that you can Hand of God in lane 1, is what I meant. Now he's obviously gonna get stolen, it looks like.
Kraken though, yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna see a huge Berserkers here. Now I don't know how much Raz reads into this. Steals the creep. Alright. Can still drop the wolf. He won't die to the pillager. Yeah.
But it's all seeing one favor in this lane. It's just doing work.
It is, really. Well. Gets the Blinker. This is a huge blink for Raz. Huge blink.
Pavtan also does get the nice 2 creeps, so that'll be useful. Gotta hope for some arrows and stuff.
Yeah, problem is that Pavtan, besides being super low on time, like we said, there is 80 threat on mid. He's not threatening the tower in first, although actually he's going to do a lot of damage now that I look at it.
He should be able to take the tower in first. His
Actually,
problem will be taking the tower in last lane. That's why he put DLC there.
Well, getting rid of the Drow actually might prevent 80 as well, but haven't done the math, so let's look. Taking a lot of time. This seemed to me like a straight up...
Yeah, he should just Berserker Skull.
Oh,
Oh, he goes with enough magic.
alright, so does he feel like he has a better place
I do
to...
not like that. That enough magic was what he could have potentially used in mid lane to prevent that lane from being taken next. He got the right arrow set up, but
Presume we're gonna see a Soul of Spring with a blink. He will still have 40 damage on the tower if he blinks away with a 3.
I think he's just dead, because I guess the reason he kept the Berserker's Call is he wants to try to use it in this lane, but there's no real good targets in this lane.
Goes for the draw.
Yeah, this is...
Not gonna do it.
He's just gonna hand a god this. Oh, of course it's Raz, he won't do anything.
I mean, he could potentially even double blink heroes if he so chooses, but he's not gonna do anything.
Commander?
It's funny how becoming a good artifact player is so often just about not knowing when not to do anything. Right?
Yeah, that is the thing. It's the one game in the world that's basically just don't do nothing, but then also know when you need to do something.
Exactly. Right, pops the Hand of God. Absolutely unkillable. Nothing that Red can do.
Well, Pavtan will have the Call of the Wild.
I thought he would blink the Tide to stop 80 in mid, but it doesn't. Okay, he's trusting the Beastmaster.
He's got to just hope for the right arrows. If he holds mid, though, there's no way he's taking last lane. Really needed a TOT for the last lane.
Let's see if because he held on to the Berserker's Call, so if he hits a Blink Dagger now, he really needs to hit a Blink Dagger and get lucky in mid. I think that's the only way that I see him getting out of this. Does he not buy any items?
Oh, he bought he got a face boots.
Doesn't hit it, yeah. Alright, looks at his options. I will say Raz was looking super good in this lane, but he's still struggling to deal the final damage.
To be of assistance.
But looks like he didn't get lucky in mid, because there's a cross on that Ancient on top left. Can potentially drop a creep and Berserker's Call in mid though, so let's see. Oh, he gets a horrible placement on the beast. Unlucky. I think this is...
You think I travel alone?
This looks like it's game. Out comes the Gust. There's a Jaspers.
But there's another Gust.
I'll wield this well.
And he could swap, but what's he gonna do? Berserkers into nothing? There you go. Ladies and gentlemen. That's Raz getting rid of one of his mono green copies. He submitted the deck twice, so he's still able to play that deck again, as well as black red. I am gonna have to make a new lobby, so let's just bear with me, guys. So who are you liking so far?
Wait, Raz didn't play his ramp list? His blue-green?
No, he did not.
He didn't even bring it.
He did not even submit that. Indeed, he did not. So you guys hold the fort. I'm gonna have to make a new lobby.
So Raz has to win with red, black, and another green.
Indeed. And right now, Pavtan's still got mono red and mono black.
Wow, Pavtan hasn't won with either. He tried mono red twice and he's lost twice.
He's been countered, it looks like. So I've just discovered that my neighbor plays flute. Isn't that cool?
Why? That's the worst instrument after the bass.
After the bass? That's oddly specific.
Yeah, okay.
Well, luckily he doesn't play so bad, but I hope you guys cannot hear him on stream, because I can definitely hear him. Alright, gonna lock that config. And I'm gonna invite you guys. Just a second. Wait, I don't have you guys on my friends list. Jesus Christ. Alright, links in chat. Alright, you're not very chatty today, Rashid, I'll say. Are you,
I just woke up.
You just
and
woke up? Alright, did you
in
sleep
the
well?
last-
Because you haven't been sleeping so well lately.
No. Yes, today I slept like 4 hours, and yesterday I only got like 3 hours of sleep, so I'm really tired.
Oof. Wow. It's not good.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't want to ditch 9, so
You did
here I
well.
am.
You did well. Thanks. Right, so just gonna wait for the players to join the lobby, and yeah, I'm honestly really liking Raz today. I'm so used to watching him play the Storm list, and I think he's I don't know if he's been discussing the matchups with other people, but I think he chose his decks well. He kind of tricked Pavtan into maybe trying to counter his blue-green. So I like his deck selection. I like his overall play. Very, very disciplined today. Looking strong, I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I really don't want... Sorry, go on, Artan.
A lot of players would have definitely played the Ravages or the Call of the Wilds, or yeah, they would have just pushed the button, and he's been holding it pretty well.
So I see you're still smoking, Rishi. I thought you were gonna.
Yeah. I did cut down. I only smoke a pack a day now. That's better.
How much
What
are
do
you,
you mean?
how much are you smoking before?
2 packs a day, sometimes 2.5.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, you should definitely reduce it.
I am.
That's good. I'm happy for you, man. Chat, give some support to Rashid as he
No, don't tell them. They'll do the opposite.
All right, so all players have submitted their decks. Let's close the invites and have a look.
Wait.
All right, so red against red. What's up?
I can't give R10 spectate.
Oh, okay, I'll do it. Just a second.
Pavtan is still on mono red.
Yeah, so we're gonna be looking at Raz's black-red list versus, so the woke red, if you will, against mono red. Generally feel like mono red is favored in this matchup, personally.
I'm sorry.
Well, he has the PA on turn 2 this time, whereas I think some people, for some reason, are running it on turn 3.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The Legion has arrived.
I mean, Raz does have the elites at the moment, and the nasal go, but as we saw in the last time that these guys played, the similar matchup, the mirror, a lot of times you just don't have places to place them.
Yeah, it often feels to me like the black splash is great if you get the sensors out and a nice placement on the PA in the early game, because maybe you can snowball that into actual advantage. As it stands, Raz doesn't have any black cards. Let's see what the players draw. And the PA doesn't hit the LC either. No black cards. A lot of creeps though. I like Raz's hand though, because Pavtan's got a very expensive hand, is limited to that standard bearer for plays.
Yeah, but Pavtan's got the most important card in this matchup, and that's TOT. So, I mean, after he get these small early plays, he doesn't really have anything other than the Berserker's Call and the Kraken, and
We will show them Stonehall's might.
not really gonna do much. But he's pretty much can just drop these things without having to worry about it.
Well, the IQ says bass is the only real music instrument. I don't know how you feel
Wait,
about that.
when is the DIQ game? Is it today? Is it after this?
Yeah, they're gonna be playing after this, and hopefully.
Okay, good.
If we
DIQ,
finish
I
with that.
can't wait to cast over your loss, bitch.
Love it.
So he decides to put the Lego in that lane instead of here, which prevents him from being punished that way.
Yeah, we're gonna see the duel come out most likely though, unless he's considering the TP. But I presume we're
He could either do the TP or he could just do the nasal go and kill them both. But the better move is the duel. Most likely, Raz will not. Yeah, he won't put Tired in first lane, most likely, but we'll see. Neither hero wants to really put their Tired in first lane specifically, but at the same time, you know, you always want to win first lane too, so it's kind of a weird thing for both of them.
Yeah, I feel like the PA deck though commits just that much harder to winning lane 1. And if nothing else, if he draws coups, he has a slightly easier time doing that as well, but it's really obviously dependent on what happens there otherwise, but...
Some good arrows in this lane.
Yeah.
For Pavtan, for Raz. And he gets the Red Mist Pillager though.
Yeah, and still no black cards.
That's where Raz maybe wishes he had the duel he might in the last lane.
So do you think we'll see a TP potentially? Or it doesn't mind? I mean, neither player's got heroes cycling. It's not like losing the hero is that bad, but if he does TP though, he's potentially gonna get red mist pillagered. Oh no, because of the arrows. Never mind. That would not actually
the
work.
thing that Pavtan I think is thinking about is whether he wants to enough magic this or not, or if he wants to where he wants to phase boots. I think he's trying to plan out his turn and realize it's not really a good move.
Yeah. I like the pass though. If again, if Raz TPs or does something, he could drop the pillager, drop the boots, swap, kill both the elite, and get a red mist pillager hitting the tower. But that's unlikely, I think.
The Legion stands united.
Interesting move there. I mean, I guess he wants to kill both of them, but then the phase boots is going to save the Legion. So
yeah.
And he's just going to lose the standard bearer for free, pretty much.
The elite is still killing the beast, though. And the PA is obviously uncontested. The other thing to notice here is that Raz is the only one actually hitting the tower in this contest, so that's nothing to scoff at either. Pavtan does have a huge whiteboard in lane 3, and there's not a lot that Raz can do about that, so there's a good spot for the pillager there. Oh, the Kraken shell. Does that feel worth it?
See.
Yeah.
That's an interesting decision. Because then we have the Legion commit that could come down, potentially. That would at least kill Bristleback. Or he could try to swap. But he doesn't want to swap, so he's probably going to put the
swap with the barrier now. That might actually be not too bad. Yeah, he goes for it. Right, because it kills the elite and trades with the bristle. So Yeah, I'm not sure.
Bear
about
is
the
still
shield.
there though.
It's really a question of which cards he values the most.
Well, looking at the hand, Raz just doesn't really have much going forward. He's going to have Berserker's Call next turn. He's going to have a Spring. But then he's going to start to run out of resources here. Wow, Pavtan is really wanted to keep his hero alive. He could have played that in last lane. That could come back to bite him.
It could. On the other hand, it might also be like the correct play. It's actually hard to tell, but it's just it felt like that card could single-handedly take the game in a board like this.
Yeah, because no one was coming in next turn on the other side, so that would have, assuming he didn't get bad arrows, he could have just that lane would have just been taken for free essentially, and he would have got nothing. Like this lane would have been.
Agree.
Yeah. Oof.
Both players getting a bunch of gold and no one's hitting a blink, so lane 3 looks like it's going to be empty for the moment.
At the same time, I guess the thing to think about is that if Bristleback's not here, he's not really threatening anything. With he can now use with Bristle here, he can potentially threaten a Berserker's Call in mid, or he's got a lot more options. Whereas if he just had Tide, he'd really be hurting.
Yep. Now, the main thing for me right now is that Raz is still not drawing any black cards. This PA is like having another creep. You could potentially try to swap and kill the PA and kill the LC though, but
I'll make good use of this.
there's also the option for Pavtan to drop the Jaspers depending on how much he values those. He's not playing against Beastmaster. He is playing against the Tide though. And the Brawler, yeah, it looked good, but now it's just you're taking so much tower damage from that Legionnaire. Okay, goes for the trade.
Yeah, watch Raz pull a coup or something next turn.
None of you will escape.
What do you think of that enough magic?
It is interesting. I'm not really sure what the reasoning there was.
Feels
I guess because he
premature,
still had the Veil. He had the Veil. Now all he's doing is just making that turn even worse. Next turn, if he does not have initiative, then Pavtan can Berserker's Call, or he's got a lot of options. Just clear that lane out.
Okay, so Pavtan hits a blink, that's why he double deploys into first. I was a bit surprised that he was going to give the lane up, but that's not the case. He does also have double spring the trap, so he can actually also try to take the lane without even doing much there.
Yeah, Raz is going to be careful what he does. He does have the Kraken, but he can't play the spring into this.
Yeah, and he knows that Pavtan has a 5 gold item. Well, he knows basically that there's a blink and a 5 gold item, so he has to be afraid of. He has to respect the Jaspers as well. Let's see.
Got 2 springs, but keeping this standard bear alive though is really paying off. Now Pavtan doesn't have an easy move here because if he doesn't,
Perfect.
yeah, he's gonna put the boots on first.
He's got to protect it.
The jungle will protect me.
Yeah, Raz opting just to hold initiative. Because if he gives it up, that mid lane is gonna be not good time. I will say both players have done a really good job at kind of playing defense in both these lanes. Not really letting anybody kind of take a lane easily.
No mercy for trespassers.
Yeah, despite the wide lane in lane 3, but also last game I felt like both of them, the game went on forever because both players were really really fighting for each point of damage on the tower, and correctly so I feel like as well. Now, it is crucial for this Bristol to stay alive. Obviously, he's out of Danger's way. Alright, and he stays alive through the Berserker Skull. And I think this is really important because we're coming into TOT turn. There's a coup now.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like this a lot. This pushes a lot of damage. Takes down the tower to 7.
It's the Ravage off and no Jaspers.
Yeah, and what this means also, because Pavtan didn't blink with the beast, is that there's a good spot for the Stone Hall to come down and for Raz to take back the lane 3. I mean, this whole round has been brutal. Raz doing a great job of coming back, but now notice that we are coming into round 6 and TOT is in Pavtan's hands, so there is that.
Yeah, well, that is the one thing that he is not going for him, but he does have the coup, so he will be able to kill at least one hero.
Yeah.
And this time he does punish Pavtan for using the early Jaspers that he did not do in game 1 of this series. Wow, and he's got another Jaspers. So even if he gets off the Ravage in the mid lane, he'll easily be able to get past it. But Pavtan does have the much better hand. He's got the late game hand. He's got plenty of options. Raz is not in a great position unless he can get the right cards.
Not. But just in terms of card advantage as well, is just Pavtan's got so many cards, even if 2 of them are Nasal Goose, it's like, it's huge. But let's see. It feels difficult to prevent this tower from going down if you're Pavtan, but let's see. He's gonna have to make a tough decision.
Gank and the coup.
Because, yeah, if Pavtan TOTs, he's just gonna get couped and then PA can blink. The tower will be going down.
His gank targets he really wants to gank though are in this lane. If he TOTs, then he definitely doesn't want to gank him again. So
let's see. I feel like given the amount of options that Pavtan's got right now and the state of the board, we're gonna see him use that minute. I feel like.
Oof, that last turn. Oh wow, he opts not to go for the time of triumph.
And
that's very interesting.
Berserker Skull. There's a Berserker Skull which Bristol can survive through as well. Yeah, you gotta go for that. And I feel like he can jump block it now. But Raz is just in a great spot right now in this lane.
I understand my orders.
Yeah, Pavtan doesn't know that Raz doesn't have the TOT, so he's playing as if he has the TOT in mid lane. Oof.
Yeah. It was there to see. It was there to see. So.
Great.
All right. Counterplay. Now the question will be: does the PA stick around? Does the PA blink?
Try to stop that.
All right.
Interesting. Basically giving up all his moves this turn.
He really wanted to confirm that tower. But he knows that these 2 heroes are stuck here. You know, even though there's a spring, he's gonna want to TOT this. Now there is a creep tanking an elite, the axe, and another melee creep in lane 3.
Oh, that's huge.
It is huge, but there is double Jaspers, so it's not as game-breaking as it might look. And he doesn't have any red cards either way, so...
Yeah, this thing he doesn't have red cards, so while he can give himself the ability to take actions or at least deal damage, that's about it.
Yeah, but it's gonna hurt to have that LC with Jaspers and the boots. The TOT just flips it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't even need to.
Doesn't even need it.
I thought he was gonna TOT and then just rotate because the Jaspers.
Yeah, see, this is where Raz is not doing good anymore.
Indeed.
He's now in this position where like he's run out of steam. He's got these 2 towers that he really wants to cap, but Pavtan has taken over both those lanes. He's still got the TOT. He's still got the spring the trap. He's got a lot of options.
Yeah, it feels like this is where the mono red deck says, okay, enough. You had the early game. Now let the big boys take over the field.
It's not even so much just specifically mono red. It's just the fact that Raz did not draw his TOTs and did not draw his springs.
Still, the option of getting TOT here would be big for him, because he could then potentially blink to mid. Both first and second lane are very low, so and lane 3 is basically saved right now. So a TOT would be huge for Raz here. He's got the initiative. Doesn't get it, so he's just gotta go for the coup.
Thanks.
Oh, he heals first. Okay, so. He could potentially even drop the Bronze Legionnaire and then coup.
Let's end this quick and find its habit. The longer axe can fight, the better!
Who do you coup here?
Oh, that's the real question. I mean, you really don't want to be playing coup at all this turn.
I think this brings out
But-
my quills, don't you?
You kind of have to,
I mean,
especially when the
You have
blink
to,
comes down.
because I think that's what he's doing. He's waiting for the blink. He's gonna wait for the blink. So, but yeah, Pavtan's like, nope.
Yeah, I feel like you dropped the bronze though.
Yeah, that axe went to save that last lane, and he's just done nothing. He's just been sitting and hitting creeps for all turn, and finally he's get some damage down, but kind of a little too late.
Yeah, he can drop the brawler there, so he can add another 6 to that. There will be a 2-hit, but there will be blink action, there will be spring the trap action, and there's a beast coming next round. So yeah, X lost some precious time there. Pavtan's on 3 seconds, guys.
You won't feel a thing.
Alright, he says, give me that tower.
Yeah, wants the tower, yeah.
And he's gonna get it, so...
Well, the interesting thing, too, is that next turn, he'll have Tide coming back. He does not have Ravage, but it will be on a 1-turn
For the glory of Stonehall.
thing, so he will have it the next round. So if he can stall out this lane, he's got the possibility of doing things.
Is he gonna blink from here? I thought he would want to blink from mid.
I think Pavtan wants to blink to last lane.
But he
Yeah.
could blink the LC though. Or the Tide.
He wants to confirm the mid lane, probably, so that he can get an 80 going.
Mm-hmm.
Or he'll probably, well, his best move is probably to spring the trap into last lane,
Yeah,
so that he can play defense.
I thought he'd deal damage to lane 1 and spring from second. Well, I like this follow-up. Because this tower's all but dead.
You can't prevent this.
Still doesn't take the tower, though.
Nope. Drops the Jaspers though, can finish up the brawler. There's the spring.
I can just put the Lego down.
Oh, he doesn't.
Oh,
Okay.
no, he wants to keep it.
Doesn't?
He wouldn't end the game anyway this round, so... I
He
can
wants
see.
the blocker, is probably what he wants. He doesn't know what Raz has.
Ouchies.
I rather like this.
So ultimately the question is how Raz is going to deploy these heroes. Do you think he commits to mid to try and finish? Gets potion and boots.
Yeah, this is tough. I don't really know. He doesn't. It's too wide in mid lane to put anything in mid lane.
Yeah.
And he kind of still needs to put something in first lane because he could still get taken out of that lane. But he also needs a lot of help in last lane.
He's got the 2 creeps in last, so that kind of, you know, gives him some insurance. Oh, and wow, both players gonna drop a hero in last. Oh, he's gonna commit everything to last? I don't know about that.
Well,
there's a centaur.
The way this is going, it's actually not bad. Well,
because he's got the centaur hitting in mid. I feel like there's value into deploying at least one hero in mid, really. Because imagine you get a duel or a gank. I feel like okay.
He's got the option to gank in this turn. In this lane is the thing. So.
Oh, Raz's hand sucks.
Yep. It does indeed.
Finally takes the lane, though. Question is, will Pavtan play the spring, or will he try to hold initiative? Wants the spring for the bot.
And the centaur not even hitting the tower. And with the arrow there, I feel like. Does kill the LC. He doesn't want to swap it. Wants to redeploy that. Oh, this hurts.
Oh, 1 mana.
And this is another reason why you should have had the hero in mid, I feel like.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually, about that. I didn't realize the tower was so low. He could probably actually do something in mid, potentially. But he's going to lose this 80.
I know how to use this.
He's going to lose it right now, isn't he? Oh, no. Yeah, he is. Yes. Oh, wait.
No,
he had lethal.
He's 3 short.
Oh, he could have placed the Legion standard bearer down.
Well,
and that would have been
he's out of
that would
time,
have been enough.
That's the thing. He's not considering all his options right now. This X needs to go mid. I feel like you need to play for the duel, or you need to play for this. He's got another spring in his deck as well. He's going first. He's got the blink. He got the blink.
Yeah, but you want the PA maybe in this mid lane. I guess what he wants to do is to TOT.
He could TOT. He could double TOT mid as well. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. But the problem is he doesn't have another option to play other than that, though. So he does get the spring, so that's actually good. But that doesn't really. That doesn't really help him because he needs the. Yeah, he needs a double TOT and something that could push damage.
So he's gonna need a huge Ravage in lane 3. Actually, is what he's gonna need. He needs the axe to get. But there's a Primal Roar. I just realized.
Axe hates dying.
So where does he go now?
Go mid, because that's his only hope is to hope that he can get the primal off or the tide stun, but I don't think that's going to happen. If he had put both in this lane, though, and yeah, he would have had enough to at least potentially take it.
Yeah, I feel like Raz at some point, probably last round, misdeployed. I really feel like.
Let's see how tough you sense.
So out comes Aurora, and it's going to be impossible to stop this now.
Because he used his Jaspers earlier.
Yeah, he used the Jaspers on the P8 to finish the Brawler. Yeah. So that's Pavtan tying this up once more.
Be right back.
You enjoying the show, Rashid?
Yes, very nice. It's nice to watch live too. Not on a 5-minute delay like chat.
Plebs, chat. Anyway, yeah, so the decks remain the same. Raz can still play his black red, can still go mono green, And Pavtan, again, he still has one copy of mono red, and he's got mono black. He hasn't touched his mono black at all, I'll say. So I need to just finish the bracket up here. Oh wait, RTN needed to register deck. Alright, hopefully it doesn't take too long. Otherwise, I can make you player, I believe. No,
Yeah, I guess just switch it, yeah.
Oh no, I can't take him out of player because this is the second bracket, I guess. He's locked in. Yeah, so I feel like Raz played really well on the mono green last time, and I don't see Pavtan, very honestly, I don't see Pavtan shifting away from mono red. I think he's one of these players that really, if he has the choice, he's just gonna play mono red. So
Yeah, but mono black against mono green is such a favored matchup for mono black. It just, I think, depends on what he thinks Raz is gonna play.
Yeah, obviously. So let's see. Let's see. He has both options, so players are gonna have to metagame each other. Just gonna let players know they gotta wait 1 second. Okay, he's back. Great. So yeah, let's see what they've registered. This will be the last game in the series, guys. Whoever's gonna lose is gonna drop down to the lower bracket.
Okay, 9. I know we're supposed to be like not biased, but who do you hope wins?
Who do I hope wins? I don't really. Obviously, it's actually one of these things where I don't really have a favorite here. I will say that if I want to choose, I'll probably choose RazDva just because I think he's got a wider deck pool, so I find him a bit more entertaining to watch. But
Wow.
that's purely.
Wow, look at
these hands.
Look at this hand.
Oh god! What a way to end this.
The only problem though is he doesn't have anything to really deal damage to anything, so he's kind of really gotta just hope that the bounty procs.
Yeah, he's got to hope for the bounty proc. Wow.
That he doesn't get dueled. Well, it won't matter because he actually has the red hero, so he won't actually have another red hero coming in.
1 second.
I don't think I've ever played a game with triple payday, and he doesn't proc.
Oh, no proc.
Well, it doesn't make a huge difference, though, does it? Let's see.
Well, what he wants is he wants either a hip fire or a pick off.
Bounty
He wants both
didn't
of them.
proc?
No.
That's painful.
Not a
Okay.
baby bounty.
When you
Yeah,
play,
exactly.
that never happens, right?
Okay, this game is over. Pavtan lost. I'm calling it GG.
And we'll see what he gets. If he gets hip fire and pick off, he'll be pretty fine. Oof, Tyler State and nowhere to place it. Really. In either of the first 2 lanes. This is rough.
I raise the bull snake high.
Sorry, just admitting some stuff. Alright, so at least the axe is dying.
Traitor axe!
Right, he's getting some attrition going. 2 more creeps. Every gold counts.
Yeah, with a TP scroll though, in the last lane.
We won't let Stonehall down.
Oh, will he try to go to with the curve with the Tyler Estate sensor, or will he put it next to the other guy? That's the question.
I think you go for it.
Yeah, I think you go for it. With 3 paydays in hand, you certainly risk it. Oh, no skills.
Doesn't use the town portal scroll though, so again, if he does get something that can deal some damage, that LC is going to be
So
easy picking.
you just triple payday no matter what though, right? Because 9 to 18, 18 to 36, 36 to 70, whatever, 72. Is that enough, Rashid?
No, 72 isn't enough to get your full.
How much does a whole deck cost? So what's the gold? What's the gold number?
I think I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but it's like between 110 and 120. But Pavtan does run one less Jasper dagger.
Look, he's gonna be killing someone. So do you maybe payday once and then you? Okay,
This is perfect for this task.
there goes the kill.
He really wants these lower level stuff, but at the very least he's getting his assassinates. That's not going to be bad.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if
Wait.
we're gonna have another match or not.
He goes for it?
I think it's okay to go for it once though. Like
Kind of has to, because
he's not doing anything otherwise.
although the
Yeah,
problem is that now he's swapped, he could have saved his bounty. Now he's going to lose 2 heroes for free. And Raz has got the duel in the mid lane, so he could also take out the Lich. Wow. Raz doesn't go for the duel. And Pavtan does not go for the eating the creep.
Delightful.
Okay, I'm starting to admin the next match. If you guys can comment, I cannot unfortunately pay attention right now.
Yeah, I mean, he got up to 80, so a little bit more than the 72 he was going to get before, so that's good. We're just going to come down to what he gets, though. He gets the horn, that's good. And the Vestur's not bad. Probably the one thing he didn't want to get was the helm, probably this early. So he's got a good list. 2 cloaks. He's got options. But none of the boards are that wide that he can't do anything with. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays it. He does have initiative, and he can play the Tyler estate too if he wants to. If he takes Tyler estate, he cuts out the 2 coups and, well, the Berserker's Call and the Marrowfell. It's probably his best move. He doesn't want to play the coup.
Won't be denied.
Okay. So he's starting with the Vesture.
A lovely bauble.
Doesn't want to play the horn because he can get cooed, and doesn't want to play coup in case he gets rid of his horn.
I think you just Tyler estate here.
Yeah, because you're not really worried about this tide doing anything to your Tyler estate. He could also play the cloak. That's also the option. But then again, that still gives him coup. He goes for the gank.
This will help.
Wait, he's
me
gonna
on
horn
this.
here?
Oh, that's a mistake. Now he just coups you. It's not the greatest coup in the world, but it delays it another turn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I
Raz
guess that's
passes.
fine. I guess that's fine, because Tide just
Ah,
ravages next turn.
Tide's just sitting there like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll take all the damage. I'll take it for like 3 turns. Doesn't really want this Vestor in this lane, though. Like, despite the fact that Raz has done a lot of... Yeah, that Raz has kind of owned this lane, he hasn't done any damage. He's going to want at least one of his heroes in last lane.
So, how do you see the game right now? Who do you think has the upper hand?
Well, Raz has most of the cards he wants. He has his coups, he has his TOTs. I don't like where this Thunderhide pack is.
Yeah, the Thunderhide's not in a great position. But at the same time, Mono Blank, he's still got the 2 Assassinates. Those could potentially come into play. It's important to note that at least Axe is at 10 and Legion's at 2. He could easily double assassinate them next turn. And he still has the coup, which is good. He needs to keep the coup for the TOT on turn 8.
Mm-hmm.
If he coups something before that, then he's going to regret it.
Right, Lich bails out. PA protects the tower.
Those who abuse magic will be stopped.
And 3 heroes coming in. How are we looking in terms of abilities? The headshot's available, the laser's available. We don't know if the Jinave is available.
I like the way this turned out, though. He's got some good. The way the way that Pavtan played his this round, outside of the Thunderhide.
Alright, Pavtan running lower on time, as he often does. Going for that super tasty double draw. One of the better plays in this deck, I'll say.
Oh, and then he can hip fire now in the LC and still have an issue. Got this last lane now, too.
And he's
At
drawing
least for
another
now.
card. Yeah, this feels really good. Despite the elite getting big. If he hits the helm, it's probably his last item, right? I'm not aware of exactly.
No,
which.
he's still
It's
got
not,
3
well.
more items.
Alright, well, he gets lucky there. That's a premium steal right there. You can also get the Brawler in first.
Yeah, he's still got an extra cloak, another Blink Dagger, and a Jasper Dagger.
Tough. Alright, there is double TOT in hand for Raz, so he's gotta be patiently waiting for those 8 mana. Still a bit to go. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does in this first lane, because he doesn't have an easy Chain Frost. But he does have an Assassinate into second lane.
Yeah.
But Raz does have a Blink, so...
So let's see, I feel like these mono black turns often, sometimes they look really straightforward, but they actually aren't.
Probably start with the pick off, or with the headshot first, to take that out.
Gets a nice placement as well, hitting the tower. And the Tide, as often is the case, can't really compete.
Tide can't really do anything. He doesn't really want to play Ravage.
Oh, when he does it.
Wow. That's desperation.
Ouchies.
No one is beyond my reach.
Axe is dead, and now he has to play the rest of the round relying solely on this super weak Tide. And if he's gonna
It's a
blink.
lot of heroes, though, in the mid lane. And no blinks so far for Pavtan, so we'll see what happens with that. But this Tide really can't do much of anything, though.
So if the Tide blinks away, do you think he steals the Brawler, or do you steal the Elite in last lane?
I think you take the Elite in last lane, Because Brawler might hit the 2-2 melee creep. You just hold initiative and coup tight, push 20 damage.
I think you want to hold coup for when the TOT happens.
Oh, he doesn't blink. He doesn't even
It
blink. So now you can you can do a lot of stuff here. You can disciple. You can. He doesn't have blinks. He doesn't have mobility, so he's stuck. Okay. So it might just be a Raz giving up this lane completely. There's a Vestures and 3 heroes here. And he's got to know that there's no blink either. Right?
Not sure so much about that laser.
See how your army grows stronger.
Pin laser up against mono red is pretty good.
1 damage short.
Wow, and I think if he had done the helm instead, he would have actually taken the lane.
Yeah, but he
Wait,
really
so
wants
this
the helm
is-
here.
I've died once.
Probably helm into
Oh, and the
chain
arrow.
frost.
Do you chain now?
Yeah, he definitely chain now.
chain. This is so much damage.
I think it's enough now. And he just marches from first lane to middle. Is it enough? So 10, 7.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is.
This will be fun to watch.
See, this is the power of mono black, is that it looks so bad, and then they just have such burst potential to come back.
Well, it was a triple payday hand, though. Let's say that.
Yes, but a certain commentator thought it was over. What, because of the triple payday.
Listen, when Rashid and Baby call games in round 1, I'm gonna say they're over 75% of the time wrong. I'm not even gonna say 50. I'm gonna say like 75. All right,
My turn.
Okay, that's game.
that's the game.
That's good.
And that's a concede from Raz, and we're gonna be seeing Raz drop down to the lower brackets, and
I'm happy
Pavtan
about this.
progressing. Yeah. All right.
I mean, we actually get to see mono green do something for once.
True.
Although arguably, the fact that he had 2 of them meant that this last time he was forced to play this list instead of playing the mono green, because he knew he doesn't want to play mono green versus mono black.